Okay, good afternoon and welcome to NZIPP Iris Awards 2024. We are currently in Judging Room 1. We are about to start our Portrait Open category. Special thanks to Sony, our major sponsor of the 2024 Iris Awards, and also a huge thank you to Radiant Imaging Labs, who is sponsoring the Portrait Open category. We are going to kick off with the image run-through.
Don't go because someone tells you to go. Don't go because everyone else is going. Don't go because it would make you look good, or because you can make it look good. Cities, mountains, streets, oceans, deserts, doesn't matter. Go because you have to go. Go because it was written on your DNA. Go because it's pouring out from every scene and dream and every map that leads you to the unknown. And every thought that seems to come back to the one thing that rips you out of bed at night. And when you go with eyes open, go fast, go nimble, go passionately, go without sleep if you have to. However you go all in. And if you don't like the rhythm, just change the beat. As you go, remember, the world is waiting for your perspective.
In a world where every moment counts, your images deserve perfection. Introducing Radiant Photo, your ultimate photo editing solution. Our AI understands your photos instantly, ensuring balanced exposure and vibrant, true-to-life colors. Smart presets adapt to each photo, enhancing sharpness and revealing hidden details effortlessly. Capture flawless portraits with natural edits for eyes, skin, and more. Customize your style with intelligent color grading, all refined with quick edit controls. Elevate your photography with Radiant Photo, where every click transforms your photos into a masterpiece. Download Radiant Photo today. Try it for 30 days with no restrictions or activation code required.
Wonderful, thank you. Judges, can we have any exclusions, please? No, no exclusions. Okie dokie. So I will just get started. So a reminder for everyone, we are in the Portrait Open category. The Portrait Open category is for any type of portraiture photography where all forms of post-production within the global rules, including compositing, are allowed. Exclusions are portraits of an animal or animals without a human are excluded from this category. My name is Olivia Wakefield and I have the lovely assistant Lydia Nimmo next to me, and I will welcome on our judges. I'm just going to read through all of your names and then we'll welcome on who we're going to have for our panel to start with. So today we have Belinda Richards, Craig Turner-Bullock, Joe Francis, Joe Howe, Catherine Williams, Kelly Brown, Richard Wood, Russell Hamlet and Tony Carter. And to get started, can we please have that line there? Yep. Craig to come up, Catherine Williams, Kelly Brown, Russell Hamlet and Tony Carter. Thank you very much, judges. I'll just wait for you to get logged on and then we'll get started. Are we all good there? Yes, okay. First print, please. Thank you, judges. We have a score of 78, a bronze award. Congratulations to the entrant. Oh, and we have a challenge up. I can't. Oh, it's Tony. Thank you, Tony.
Yeah, I'm on 86 with this image. I have seen it before. I don't know whose it is. I don't really care. But yeah, I think the mood of this image, the girl's expression and the way she's looking, the body language of this young person, the tonality running through the print, the slightly awkward body language, which is represented in her face as well. Beautiful print quality, beautiful presentation. Gold with distinction. Silver with distinction for me. Sorry.
Thank you. Can I hear from Russell, please?
Some of those things, Tony, but to be honest, the eyes, for me, we communicate mostly with each other through our eyes. Yes, there's those other pieces of communication, but one eye is looking at us and one eye is almost, for me personally, very awkwardly looking in a completely other direction to the eye that is looking at us, and it's really quite unnerving to me. And I could use other descriptive words, but it let it down for me, and I scored at 73.
Thank you, Russell. And can we hear from someone in the middle of the pack, Catherine? Thank you.
I was on 78 with this, and there was a beautiful honesty to her sullen expression. Where I initially sort of held it back was the honesty through her face and expression and pose, with the treatment of the skin, sort of broke through that. There was some other lovely bits, the tension through the knee with the wrinkling of the skin, the sort of tension through her toes. I do feel like there's this tension through her whole body. In terms of communication, her eyes off to the camera, I mean, that to me is a typical teen who's probably making up a story or not totally honest themselves and looking off camera. And for that, I'm on 78. I would go into silver, but I'm not into distinction range. Okay, have we got anything else to add, judges?
before I hand it back to Tony for right of... Oh, sorry, Kelly. Yep,
I'll just add
beg your
very,
pardon.
very quickly, just in addition to what's already been said that I completely agree with, just the print quality for me, I would love to see this printed on a different paper stock to try and bring out some detail in those blacks where it's just falling away there.
Thank you, Kelly. And I'll hand it back to Tony for right of reply.
Yeah, it'd be nice to get it up into silver. Catherine, you didn't really say anything negative about it at all, really. So I'm hoping that you'll at least be in silver. But, you know, I think, Kelly, I think the paper choice suits the somber mood of the girl and the tension. So I don't actually mind that. Her awkward pose denotes her age and a way of feeling. So it would be great if you can't come up to silver distinction. If you could just come up into silver, that would be fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony. Judges, please rescore. And we have a score of 81, a silver award. Congratulations. Can we have next print, please? And we have a score of 72, a professional standard. Can I please have a comment from Kelly? Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm on 73, so right near that average. And I believe it sits quite well within that scoring range. For me, I am a little confused as to why she has been posed in that location. I can't quite see a connection. That might be on purpose. However, she is just getting lost in amongst all of that timber. So possibly, you know, shift in focal length, depth of field to help separate her, or even, you know, trying some different lighting techniques for outdoors to try and bring her out a little bit more, separate her from everything that's going on within that scene.
That's great. Thanks, Kelly. Next print, please. We have a score of 82, a silver award. Pretty equal across the board there. Can I please have a comment from someone? Craig? Thank you.
Yeah, I think really nice work, beautiful light, and the softness is beautiful in this, and I enjoy the awkward angles. To lift it a little bit further, maybe just darkening off on that foreground element, just so your eye doesn't go out through the bottom right of the image there.
Thank you, Craig. Next image, please. We have a score of 73, a high professional standard. And I will ask for a comment from Craig. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I think this is really quite lovely and graphic. I think a little bit more control of the highlights is needed to lift this up a little bit more. And I think a softening of the edge of the leg there. There's a very hard line, and I'd love to see more softness through there. I also find the matte really distracting. It's so reflective and dark that it pulls you away.
Thank you, Craig. Next print, please. Oh, oh, sorry. We just had some feedback from the print handlers that the prints aren't central into the middle under the light, and they're not also flat. Are you saying, Catherine? Yeah. So they're not quite flat, so it's just a bit tricky for the judges to see the images properly. Okay, next print, please. And we have a score of 76, a bronze award. Congratulations to the entrant. Can I have a comment, please, from Catherine Williams? Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations on the Bronze Award. Beautiful sort of graphic image with the kitten on the back of the armchair. Where it sort of would have pushed it up higher in terms of a portrait between the boy and the kitten was a little bit more interaction or a little bit more feeling from the child looking down. And also the print quality feels a little bit underprinted, so a little bit more richness and robustness in the print would have helped.
Thank you, Catherine. Next print, please. And we have a score of 82, a silver award. Congratulations to the entrant. Can I have a comment, please, from Tony?
The quality of this is exceptional. It feels very traditional in this category, but it's finished to a very high level. I think it's all about that expression and that pose. But you just sort of left like to get a high score, maybe introducing some other elements that add to the image. But it's beautifully done.
Thank you, Tony. Next print, please. We have a bronze award on 76. Happy with that? Yeah. No? Oh, no, we've got a challenge here from Russell.
Worth a little bit more than squeaking into a bronze myself.
Thank you, Russell. Kelly, I can see you down there. Go for it.
Yeah, I was on 75, so very close to the average there. And I'm really enjoying the butterfly nature of this. It's very dreamy, and for me, I would have liked to have seen the beautiful blue tones that are in the bottom half of the image somewhat replicated in the top half of the image. I feel that the lighter, sort of warmer sky doesn't quite go with the overall composition here. I feel like in a category like this where you can go for it, you could have experimented and explored a little this, I suppose, this style or concept a little further for me to bring it up into a higher scoring range, but I am listening.
Thank you, Kelly. Judges, have we got anything else to add? No, I'll hand it back to Russell for right of reply.
Oh, that's just what I thought. The energy's not there, I can see. So it's nice to me. I give it a silver. So thank you to the photographer for giving us this beautiful work.
Thank you, Russell. Judges, please rescore. And we have a 77 bronze award. Congratulations. Next print, please. We have a score of 76, a bronze award. Congratulations to the photographer. And can I have a comment, please, from someone? Russell, thank you.
Lovely from a distance. When you get up close, obviously you're compelled to look into the eyes, but I'm somewhat distracted by the flyaways, if you want to call them that, on the edges of the material. It just seems to be a detail that kind of takes your eye when you get in close.
Thank you, Russell. Next print, please. And we have a score of 76, a bronze award. Congratulations. Can I have a comment, please, from Catherine? Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations to the photographer. There's such a beautiful quality in the paper choice in this, which has a real iridescence. However, I think that it could have come up higher if we had seen more detail in the shadow areas in the shape of this fabric, which is splayed out. And we're not sort of seeing that beautiful paper shine through in that area. And probably, you know, I feel like the subject's face is in that moment, but she is a little bit diminutised by everything else around her and the depths and the shadows.
Thank you, Catherine. Next print, please. Next print, please. Scores, please, judges. And we have an initial score of 86, silver distinction. However, we have someone in the gold range. Where you go, Tony?
Yeah, I'm on 93. I think the form of this is quite beautiful. That, you know, the colours, how they sort of all sort of working together. That mistiness, that mystery, that, you know, the lines through that face, and, you know, the body line and the print quality. I just think you know, you feel totally seduced by this. It's got beautiful energy, and I think it's an exceptional piece of visual communication. You know, the depth there, running through to the back. But, you know, you're really drawn into the subject matter, and then your eye just roams around it, and it makes you smile and feel warm inside. I think it's a gold.
Thank you, Tony. Kelly, you're on the other end of the scale. Can we hear from you, please?
I am. I'm on 82, and I feel that it sits quite well within the silver scoring range. I am intrigued. I'm intrigued by the silhouette of the face. I think that the photographer's done a great job of capturing that. I quite like the placement of the subject in the centre of the screen. However, you know, that skirt sort of fanning down into that right corner. However, that dark area just at the very bottom of the frame just weighs me down. And then I'm just slightly distracted by some of that sort of, what I'm going to guess is like a smoke coming across as a texture in the image. I feel that that's competing with the busyness of that yellow textured background. So whilst there are many layers to this, I feel like they're not entirely working together for me to bring it up into that scoring range. However, I am definitely intrigued and I'm really enjoying the colours throughout the print. So I'd like to hear a little bit more from my fellow judges.
Thank you, Kelly. Craig's getting fidgety, so you can have a whirl now.
So I scored this 87. Tony, I'm coming up into gold range for sure. I think, Kelly, the weight at the bottom is quite intentional, because then you have that a lift from the smoke. And I sit here and I look at this and it's very graphic and it's very bold, but that smoke just feels like the sheet of paper is rippling off of the page. And I'm really enjoying looking at it from this distance as well as up close. And yeah, I'm coming up, Tony.
Thank you, Craig. And Russell, I can see your hand there. Go for it.
Yeah, thanks for that. I scored it at a low 83, and I've missed the boat on it as well. I don't even know if it's about the smoke, really. It has a sort of a voyeuristic sort of, might even be a reflection of a window being shot through or anything you like to give it, really. And the lovely energy passing out of the frame like that with that angle of the skirt is awesome. And the whole ritualistic nature of it, is just the silhouette of the head is really quite powerful in amongst all that other colour, and quite well seen, really, and really, really well delivered. And so I'll be lifting my score at least 10 points.
Thank you, Russell. Are we all good there, judges? Do you have anything else? Yeah, Catherine, would you like to add anything?
Just since we're talking gold, I was an 84 and I really was quite torn. And then I sort of felt like that the embodiment of culture can be sort of faceless in a way when we let it sort of become part of us. And that sort of has taken me there, so I'm going to go gold.
Thank you, Catherine. We've done a full round of judges, so back to you now, Tony.
Yeah, I guess it's one of those things where, you know, the face feels like something really quite unique in street photography. The rest just feels magical and more like a movie set. So it's there's a lot of eye candy happening there, but there's also a lot of substance. And I've been totally seduced. We only needed 3 for gold. Let's see if we can get 5 in there. But yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Tony. Judges, please rescore. And you've done it. 92, a gold award. Congratulations. Great discussion. Thanks, judges. Next print, please. And we have a score of 75, a bronze award. Congratulations. Can I have a comment, please, from, oh yeah, Russell or Kelly, one of you?
Beautifully lit and lovely subject matter and nice expression, but I think the arm is just a little bit ponderous for the sort of attempted elegance, if you like. Perhaps if you'd swapped arms, it would have probably worked a little bit better for me.
Thank you, Russell. Next print, please.
I think I've seen that kissing someone. No one's been there.
We have an initial score of 89, a silver distinction. However, we have 2 gold people. So we're going through to a automatic challenge. Russell, I'm going to hear from you first. You're the highest on 96.
Thank you. Scored a gold distinction. Unbelievable clarity, unbelievable communication, unbelievable subject. Beautiful designing, the texture of the material just mimicking her skin, just how the material flows relative to the lines in her body, the strength and ugliness both, and the beauty of the hands, completely confronting, right in the middle of her heart, right in the middle of where we look. Her face is great, and then all that sharpness is just that beautiful, wistful flowing into you know, the non-focused elements of the headdress, just taking us up into that frame. You know, the strength of the woman, just how she's backlit, like the little bit of rim lighting like that just coming over, showing quite a strong part of her body actually. This is a very strong woman late in her life, just presented in a magnificent way to us. Just, yeah, for me, I can't fault it actually.
Thank you, Russell. Tony, can we hear from you, please, on the other end?
Yeah, I'm on 82. Probably from back here I looked and thought, oh yeah, that's very powerful. But then I went in and I thought, oh, it just feels really overworked. The hands and the clothing and the body, and then you know, and the face, which is very powerful. I think I probably underscored it, but I still don't feel it's in the gold country for me at this stage. I feel the disconnect between what's ever happening on the head, you know, that drifting away, it feels just so disconnected to it that it feels like it's from 2 different images. So it just feels very powerful in its emotion, but I just feel that it's been overworked, and even that separation of the body, of the background, I think it just feels very heavy-handed and not held together. So it's all there, but I'll take a bit more convincing for gold.
Thank you, Tony. Catherine, you can have a turn.
I started on 88. Okay, and I'm going to just go, there really only was one thing that actually held me back, and that was her forehead, very bright, and the top of her hairline was very bright, and that was the 2 spaces that had the least amount of information that was capturing my gaze the most. However, in terms of what we're being presented with, the crepe fabric and her crepe-like skin, I actually think that the workings of this is actually, it works. It's the work nature of the skin is all over her, and it works in with the fabric as well. So her skin hasn't been separated from everything else in the treatment of it. And then the boniness, as you can sort of sit back, the boniness in her knuckles is really showing through, the boniness on the sides of the fabric as well, and the lumpiness through. But the real hero is her gaze and the mischievous, almost wicked nature of that gaze, which really does hold you. So I can see that I've let myself get hung up on something quite minor, really, in the scheme of things. So I'm definitely going to come up into gold.
Thank you, Catherine. Kelly, we are going to hear from you, but I'm just going to give Craig a quick go. Craig, you go first,
Sure.
and then we'll...
Yeah, I was also on 88. I think I've underscored it too. I will come up. The technicality that I was hung up on was that little kind of curl on that side. But Tony, you said drifting away. And I feel that there's this, like you said, Catherine, mischievous, determined person, and that out of focus softness is just like her essence drifting away. So, yeah, I get that story from this, and I think I'll come up into gold.
Thank you, Craig. Kelly, your turn.
Oh, yeah, I scored this 92. I'm very much captivated by it. I think the photographer has done an incredible job at matching, you know, all of the beautiful colours throughout this. Her eyes are the same colour as the background. We've got story. We've got a level of intensity here that tells me that her life is not over. Like she's got so much more left in her, and I feel that from this, and I think the photographer's done a very good job at portraying that.
Thank you, Kelly. I will bring it back to Russell. Take it home.
Thank you. Just the dichotomy of that softness, you call it a disc. The funny thing is, Tony, all the comments that you made as what was a conflict for your criticism are actually the pluses for me. So this photographer is completely in charge of what they're doing, and the overworkedness, if you want to call it that, is completely deliberate, considering the fact that they've let that softness compete with what you are calling the overworkedness. I think without that treatment, the detail, the beauty of the detail would have been lacking, and wouldn't have had the same sort of power if it had been presented to us in any more of a soft way. It's a magnificent piece of work, and they're in total control, and they've totally got me, and I think it's worthy of a gold distinction easily. Out there, sitting amongst all this stuff, it'd stand out like DBs.
Give me the giggles. Thank you, Russell. Judges, please rescore. And we have a score of 93, a gold award. Congratulations. Next print, please. Okay, we have an initial score of 89, a silver distinction. However, we have two people in the gold range. So I will start with Tony, please.
Who's the other person?
Craig.
You can go.
Oh, Tony, you're the highest on 94.
Do I have to?
Or you guys?
Do I have to?
Technically you do.
I think you do. Yeah, no, yeah. Unless you want to paper, scissors, rock, but I'm pretty sure it is you. Tony, where you go?
Yeah, I'm on a measly 94. So I was probably trying to push Craig into it so I could change my score a bit. But yeah, I'm going to have to stick with that. But, this to me is, this is something that really sucks into your heart. And by looking, at this person and their body and their honesty, standing there in this pose, that hair over the eye and just, the honesty of that belly, but the communication of the fairly confident sort of pose in a way with strength, but you can sort of feel that that sadness emanating out of this image, and the print quality suits the mood, and just the whatever's hanging over the shoulder, not throwing in the towel. I think this is a brilliant piece of communication, and it feels so honest and open and something extremely beautiful, and I hope you guys move my measly 94 up to a higher score.
Thank you, Tony. We're going to hear from Kelly, who's down the other end of the scale.
Yeah, I'm on 84. And whilst I do agree with a lot of the comments that you've made, and I am, very... I'm trying to think of the word. I'm somewhat perplexed by this, because there's story here. I feel it. I feel her. However, I just feel like the shirt over the shoulder to cover the other breast is, you know, it's been done on purpose. I feel like I would have loved to have seen a little bit more expression from her face. While her glasses are part of her, I want to see more of her face. Like, it's not just about the body and the scars for me. Like, this needs to scream at me, and I feel like it could have been lit a little better, and I feel like the paper choice, whilst the muted sort of tones here are working for this particular portrait, there is a bit of a colour shift in here. There's some greens and some magentas coming through that technically just aren't sitting in the right place for me to go into gold. But I am listening. These are just some of the things that I am sort of that are coming through to me. Yeah, the lighter part of the image as well, being the stomach, I would have liked to have seen a little bit more control over the direction of that light to create more impact.
Thank you, Kelly. Can we hear from Russell? Thank you.
Yeah, I scored it a measly 88, but I think the cloth, good statement with the throwing in the towel and stuff, but that doesn't work for me. But just the placement of the cloth being on the nearest breast was very, very clever. Could have easily done it the other way around, and I think that balance would have been nowhere near as effective as what we've got here. You know, just that the affected breast, obviously on the opposite end of where we're looking, is great, and the tummy is great too. The thing is, it is a beautiful, honest portrait. Is it? Because of its subject matter, does that necessarily make it a gold? I mean, does the print drag us into gold? I'm not sure. I think it's sort of beautifully lit and presented to us in a kind of a soft way for what it is. Yeah, I don't know, Tony, just to drag me into gold somehow, even though I'm really bloody high already.
Thank you, Russell. And Craig, we'll hear from you, please.
When I look at this, I see a person who is undergoing a transformation in their life. And you can read many interpretations into this, whether it is a transformation of gender, a transformation of their health, a transformation of their inner peace. I feel conflicted looking at it because there are elements that I find quite sad, but at the same time I also feel there's a confidence in the stance and in the pose. I feel the position of the head is very intentional, a little bit shied away perhaps. Tony, you wanted to take this into distinction range, which is why you wanted me to challenge this. I will be taking this into distinction range. I think this is a highly emotional piece that is beautifully captured, beautifully lit, very intentional, and yeah, it's fantastic. Definitely, I'm going into that distinction range.
Thank you, Craig. Do we have anything else to add before I hand it back to Tony? No, Tony, right of reply. Take it away.
Yeah, I mean, there might be little technical problems there. I don't know. I guess, you know, over 3 days of judging, I know how many times you really get hit emotionally, and I feel this person and what they're going through, and their vulnerability, that strong, that jawline turn like that, which is, so you got that line of the jaw, and then down, to what's been going on, with this person through the shapes and the material, which folds around as well. There's just such a raw honesty about this image. We don't know the whole story, and I don't think we need to. Please come up as high as you can. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony. Judges, please rescore. We have a score of 92, a gold award. Congratulations. Can we have a blank screen, please? We're just going to do a judge swap. Craig, thank you very much for your time. And Joe Francis, can we have you on, please? give Jo a moment to... Oh, she's running. Don't see that often. Just kidding, just kidding. Just had to give a little bit of a nudge, right? Oh, yeah, we do know each other. We're friends. She's laughing. She took it well. Okay. All set. Next print, please. We have a score of 75, a bronze award. Congratulations to the photographer. You're all within cooey of each other. Can we please hear from Russell? You just leant forward at the time. Go for it.
Yes, the central location kind of doesn't quite hold the power for me, and I'm distracted by the foliage coming out of the tree trunk. It's just, at first I wanted to look at it as a vignette, but really it just takes my eye from the flow, and that kind of disturbed its visual energy for me.
Say something nice to
Lovely colours.
Thank you, Russell. Next print, please. And we have a score of 77, a bronze award. Congratulations to the photographer. Can I please have a comment from someone? Jo. Oh, Kelly, sorry. Oh, either. Kelly's going.
I feel like she's levitating here. Like, this has been really well captured. I'm enjoying the shadow at the base of the frame here. It really does sort of ground the image and create space at the same time. The light, though, coming down, I feel like there's a little bit too much contrast, and then just the loss of hand, the hand sort of going back over the back shoulder, and then those hard shadows on the hand in the foreground as well with those highlights. I just feel like they're taking it away from the overall capture of this beautiful dancer.
Thank you, Kelly. Next print, please. Just while the judges are looking at this image, I'm just going to run through some things that are happening in Christchurch if you are here. On Thursday, we are going to have our live print auction. This auction is for prints that are in the Iris Awards this year. So if you see something that you like, it might be up for sale and you can go and buy it. The auction starts at 3:30 p.m. on Thursday, and then following that we have the Iris Awards wrap-up party sponsored by Sony. That's happening at 7 p.m. on Thursday. And before that, we have the Great New Zealand Pub Quiz, which starts at 5:30 down at 25. So anyone is welcome to attend all three of those. You can go and buy yourself a print, go and enter a quiz, and then have a drink and a party. How good. We have a score of 77, a bronze award. We were happy with that. Congratulations. Can I please have a comment from Russell? Thank you.
I love the directional lighting. The voluptuous nature of the subject has been enhanced by that choice of technique. Perhaps just to lift it a little bit for me, I just can't quite piece the expression on the face with the bravery of the pose, really, I suppose.
Thank you, Russell. Next print, please. Scores, please, judges. And we have a score of 82, a silver award. Congratulations. Can I have a comment, please, from Tony? Oh, Joe, sorry.
This is a
My
really
mistake.
beautiful capture. The tone, the tonality is gorgeous. Everything from the quirky hair down to the great expression. I think to elevate it, there is a certain sort of stiffness in her pose, and I think if that could have been refined a little, we might have gone higher.
I'm just going to hear from
Yeah,
Kelly.
Can I just add something else? Like the Alice in Wonderland, the falling down the rabbit hole type thing. I get it, but yeah, it takes a while to kind of piece together all the different elements here. I'm not quite sure how you could improve that. However, there are different pieces of this that scream story. I think just a little bit more refinement in terms of the way that it's lit and put together and posed could really help this.
Thank you, Kelly. Next print, please. We have an initial score of 81, a silver award, and we have a challenge here from Joe.
I gave this an 88. I guess my first narrative was that it was her partner that has passed, and he's sort of reaching into her from the void, basically. But when you get up there, the secondary character looks very much like her. So it's almost to me like a story of your own self, of your own demise, of your own ending. Yeah, just it's very moving. It's kind of got a quietness about it, but it really just invites you to think about what your own end of life might feel like. I would have loved a little bit more space around it. If it had that, I might have gone a bit higher and maybe a better, different paper stock. But yeah, there's a real cleverness in the way we're asked to think about what it's going to be like as we near the end of our lives.
Thank you, Joe. Russell, you're on the other end. Can we hear from you, please?
Yeah, I scored at 76, and to be honest, that's where I'm staying. That hot spot right smack in the middle looks like a hole's been shot through the middle of the print, and it's right in the wrong place. It's just taking away from that other character. Yes, they might be ethereal and what have you, but really I think it's been truncated massively by that hot spot. And then my eye flies over to the left as well with the hand over the shoulder. Just, yeah, we know what it's doing, but it's visually distracting and it's not a tidy shot. She's hot as hell in the face as well. It just doesn't work for me in the silver range at all.
Thank you, Russell. And can we hear from someone else? Catherine, were you looking at me? Yeah, thank you.
I was on 84, and I mean, I feel this image in terms of the pain of loss. I don't know if I agree with your story, Joe, but I think your story is fantastic, and it doesn't matter like how you connect with it, but it certainly, I feel it, and I feel pain. The brightness in the face of the main subject is why I've purposely put it at 84, because that was the furthest I felt I could go based on the quality of the presentation in front of me, even though I get all that emotional response from it. I think if the hand over the shoulder had been darkened back and we'd still get all that feeling, even the white patch over the subject on the right, I still feel that feeds into the sort of ghostly narrative potentially, but that quality is just holding it back.
Thank you, Catherine. Tony, your turn.
Yeah, I'm on 81, so I'll make it interesting. I'll come up to silver distinction. I think I'll come up to 86. I think there's been enough talk about it that you can pull out some fantastic stories. I was a little bit worried about the quality of the presentation, but I think the emotion definitely takes over from that, and it's something a wee bit different. So yeah, I'm going to come up to 86.
Okay, thank you, Tony. Have we got anything else to add before I hand it back to Joe? No, there you go, Joe.
Thank you for your support, Tony. Yes, so sitting back here particularly, I can see that hand, I can see how bright that spot is, but I'm so drawn into her face and her pain and her future and her past, and there's so much of her that I'm being presented with that I can really forgive everything else, because the emotion is what's really drawing me in and carrying me through. So I urge you just to give it a few more points to bring it up to silver distinction.
Thank you, Joe. Judges, please rescore. And we have a score of 83, a silver award. Great discussion. Next print, please. We have a score of 76, a bronze award. Are we all happy with that, judges? Yes. Congratulations to the photographer. And can I have a comment from Joe? Thank you.
Sure, this is an absolutely gorgeous little portrait. You've really nailed that perfect little expression. Just to elevate it, I feel like the crop at the bottom is a bit tight and the little girl's face is a little hot.
Thank you, Joe. Can we have the next print, please? And we have a score of 77, a bronze award. Congratulations. Judges were all within 1 point of each other. Can I have a comment, please? Thanks, Kelly.
Yeah, I really like the presentation of this as a maternity portrait. I love the texture of the cave and the direction of that light coming through. Just be careful of your highlights. The bottom half of the skirt is brighter than the top half. It should be the other way around, considering that light coming through from the top right-hand corner of the frame there. So a couple of little things to tidy up, and it could definitely go higher.
Thank you, Kelly. Can we have the next print, please?
Can I just add something about the hand while we get the next print? Just pull the hand back so we can see all of it.
Scores, please, judges. We have a score of 83, a silver award. Congratulations. Catherine, would you like to challenge? Yeah, you can go for it.
Yeah, I gave this 87. I felt the impact was really strong, and the expression of this woman and her power really comes through and is enhanced by sort of an unusual geometric presentation. And the geometry in the presentation carries through to her body really successfully. And then, we could have this presentation, it's, very symmetrical in the geometric shapes, but then with her presentation, we've got the sort of veering off to the left of frame in the fabric, the hand, the hair, and that just sort of gives it a fantastic impact.
Thank you, Catherine. Joe, can we hear from you, please?
I gave this one a 78. I love the creativity. It's very innovative. It's very clever, but I just feel like she looks a bit bored. I don't feel any movement or passion in her face. And for me, her face, she's just too static to go with all that gorgeous movement of her hair. I also feel like the clothing choice is not really adding anything to the overall image. I feel like, it feels a bit static to me. I feel like there's a real contrast between movement and staticness, and it's just not quite working for me.
Thank you, Joe. And Kelly, see your hand waving.
Yeah, I'm on 85. I'm up there because there is something about this. And those things that you just mentioned, Joe, like the clothing choices and things like that, what I'm interpreting from this is these perfect shapes, perfect rectangle, perfect triangle. I mean, she's beautiful, but no one's perfect. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like she's busting out of this perception to be perfect. Like all young women, they strive to be perfect in today's world. And I feel like this is raw. I love her raw sense of her style. And I love that straight line coming down towards where the legs are. And then I'm led back in, from that shadow up to the point of the triangle and then led back up, and then the hair kind of brings me back down. Like, there's a lot going on here, and I love that we're challenged by it. And I feel that the perfect nature of those geometrical shapes, it's being challenged by the non-perfect placement of the hair and the styling and the pose and all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm like, well done, photographer, for presenting something that's unique.
Thank you, Kelly. And Tony, I can see you there.
I'll come up into civil distinction. I think it is imperfect, and it's one of those images where you go, there's something in front of me here, but I'm not quite sure what it is. But yeah, it's definitely keeping my eye in there, and I'll definitely be coming up to civil distinction.
Thank you, Tony. Are we ready for right of reply? Yep. Oh, Catherine.
Yeah, thank you for your support, judges. Yeah, I mean, this is one of those images that when you're presented with, it's a little bit hard to know what to say in many ways because it is challenging. However, I think it's got enough going on in terms of the eye-catching nature of it. And yeah, I just hope we go up a few points.
Thank you, Catherine. Judges, please rescore. And you've done it. We have a score of 86, a silver with distinction. Can we have a blank screen, please? We're just going to do a judge swap around. Joe, Francis, can you please hop off? And thank you very much. And Craig, can I have you on, please? And Catherine Williams, you can take a break. And can we have Belinda Richards on, please? Just give you a moment to log in. Hang on, we might just hold fire on Belinda. We are just going to grab Joe. Oh, Catherine, can you just jump back on again for us, please? Sorry. There's a lot going on. Okie dokie. Are we all good? Can we have the next print, please? And we have a score of 79, a bronze award, which moves us straight into the review process. So I'm just going to click that. And judges can now review it. Oh, I beg your pardon. Sorry, did I miss something? Oh, I beg your pardon. There is actually an opportunity to challenge that. Russell, would you like to?
That's what we're here for. I scored this, I squeaked into silvers at 83. I quite enjoy the lighting of it. Yes, it's sort of reasonably hot on the right-hand side, but all detail is there. I think the expression is wonderful. It matches the... At first I wondered if that flower head was attached to that stalk that she's holding, but it is. And I think that that's really beautifully done, how it's just fallen off-centre. That line runs right up through the middle from her hands, right up through that shadow separating one side of her face to the other. Detail everywhere, lovely expression, velvety sort of feel. Yeah, I squeaked it in. I think it's a nice piece of work.
Thank you, Russell. And can we please hear from Catherine Williams? You're down the other end.
Yeah, I was on 77 with us, and I think the subject, she has a beautiful wistful expression, and the drooping flower sort of reminds me of like the sort of slight disheveledness in her styling, and the wrinkles and everything falling not quite in a not quite perfect way. The things that sort of held me back was, you know, I mean, there is a messiness to her hair, which I think is works in this case, but there's a piece coming over her shoulder, which I do find quite distracting, and also where her hands are placed in frame being quite bright, and then just dissecting very slightly into the knuckle. Those are sort of elements that are holding me back.
Thank you, Catherine. Judges have anything else to add? Anything new? No? Okay, I'll hand it back to Russell for right of reply.
Thank you. We're on 79 already, so I think when you look at it a bit longer, it's worthy of a silver. I quite enjoy that sort of edge tension, if you want to call it that, down the bottom where the hands are dropped in. It's a very tight crop anyway, so the hands got to be somewhere and they may as well be there. So I'd rather her hands be down there and give it a base than the head closest to the top and more room for the hands, if that makes sense. So I think that the gap between the top and the top of her head gives it all a lovely shape, and I think it's worthy of a silver.
Thank you, Russell. Judges, please rescore. And we have a score of 80, a silver award. Congratulations. Can we have the next print, please? And we have an initial score of 81, a silver award. Are we happy with that, judges? No, and we have a challenge, yep, from Craig. Thank you.
I snuck this into the distinction range at 88. I think it's a really beautifully crafted piece, and I think the print is gorgeous, and the print, I think, is what took me into the distinction range, really. It has this texture and this linear kind of quality to it, and also this iridescence that makes it feel as if this dancer is underwater. And that's what I thought really took it up there for me. So, yeah, let's have a chat about it.
Thank you, Craig. Kelly, can we hear from you, please? You're down the other end.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm actually really enjoying that underwater feel for this. The colours are lovely and the paper choice is really lovely. I think what I'm really struggling with is just that contrast between highlights and shadows. There's a dark shadow on her hand that's across her belly, and then there's that really bright highlight underneath that above the thigh. And then there's just some inconsistencies with skin tones in the legs, and then there's a highlight just underneath her butt. So some things like that that could be controlled a little better for me to bring it up into that next scoring range, but I am listening.
Thank you. Yes, Tony, I saw you banging on the button.
Yeah, I'm on
Go for it.
78. You know, this style of portraiture has been around for a long time now, and I find nothing that brings us up into a distinction range. I find the material trailing behind quite clumsy, and I find that the image is split just about down the middle, with that highlight to on the left with the material. And like Kelly's alluded to, there's so many faults in this technically that it's nowhere near a distinction range for me.
Thank you, Tony. Yes, Catherine, go for it.
I was also in distinction at 85, and I am not seeing the same level of problems with this in terms of those, I see bright and I see a lot of depth. I see the liquidity in the fabric, which I think is beautiful and really well enhanced by the paper choice. When you get in there, and I mean, we haven't talked about the face. Her face is in a dream. Her expression is absolutely sublime. The highlights in the fabric also give a directionality through, which we see in her legs as well. So it is actually creating some lines. Without that, the fabric to me would just be a dark blob. So I'm definitely supporting distinction.
Thank you, Catherine. Have we got anything else to add before I hand it back to Craig for a right of reply? Take it away.
I think Catherine said it all better than I can. I love that diagonal nature of coming in from the left as well. And yes, the face is just beautiful. So let's see if we can give it a few more points.
Thank you, judges. Please rescore. And we have remained on 81, a silver award. Congratulations. Can I have a blank screen, please? Judges, how are we all feeling? Are you guys all okay? We are going to do a swap around, but I just wanted to give anyone the opportunity to jump off if they wanted to. Okay, so can we please have Catherine Williams, you can now take a break, actually. And Belinda, you can pop on. And can we please, Russell, you can hop off for a wee bit if that's okay. And Joe Howell, can we get you on, please? Okay, we'll just give those guys a moment to jump on. And my computer just needs a wee moment to catch up on life. Don't we all? Yeah, I know, right? It's giving me a lot of whirligigs. Just wait for the wheels. I'm still thinking. I am challenging the computer a wee bit, so we might need to get honours on if we need to. Still thinking. Okay, good. All right. Oh, yay, it worked. Okay, so can we have the next print, please? Okay, I'm really sorry. We just were informed that this print had been taken out, and so so that's why we'd skipped through. So I think we might just get honours to come and just double check this for us. Sorry, everyone. Yeah, print handlers, if you could take that that print away for a moment. We were just recently informed that that print had been removed from the awards, so we just need to make sure that that is the right advice. And we're just going to get someone to check the lights as well, because I think one of the lights had moved. Judges, you can all stand up and have a little dance, have a wiggle. Yay. Everyone on the live feed, just hang tight for a moment. We're just trying to clarify a couple of things. Everyone else is standing up, so you guys can go and make a cup of tea. Okay, judges, we look like we are back on track. So those that were judging, please sit back down in your spot. Those that were dancing, please sit down. We'll just give everyone a moment to get sorted, and then we will judge this image. Can we have that printout, please? Here it comes. There it is. Wonderful. There we go. And just while our judges are looking at this image, I'm just going to talk about Radiant Imaging Labs, who is sponsoring the Portrait Open category. So they are a company created entirely by photographers. They designed Radiant Photo based on their extensive combined experience and love of photography. They truly believe that every photo deserves to be radiant, and that the editing process should be as powerful as possible, but never overwhelming or confusing. Thank you so much for sponsoring the Portrait Open category. Oh, this is exciting. We have an initial score of 90, Gold Award. However, we have Tony Carter in the Gold Distinction range. So I will put you through as the challenger and start talking.
Yeah, I'm on 98. I find it hard to fault this. You know, the whimsical nature of this, the flowing of the circles, the body language, the lighting, everything's just so masterfully done here. You know, just every little circle, your eye just rolls right through that middle of that image, the face right round those outer circles, right round to the bottom of the frame and the legs. The blue hues are fantastic and masterfully handled everywhere. You know, this is exceptional lighting, that beautiful light coming down that front leg, the body language, the claw-like hands, you know, those fingers and that, you know, that clawing, and which is another flow-through line with the hair. Everything about this is like high fashion, high portraiture done to an extremely high standard with full artistic, you know, yeah, I just find it really hard to fault. So I think you should come up into gold with distinction.
Thank you, Tony. Kelly, can we hear from you, please, on the other end?
Yeah, absolutely. I scored this in 81, and I'm actually quite comfortable with it sitting in the silver scoring range for a couple of technical reasons. Around her breast area, on the bottom arm and then in the top arm, there is a slight halo that's not consistent around the arms. So it's around the breast area or on both sides and down towards the back on the bottom half there, but it's not consistent with any type of glow that's coming off around the gloves. I'm really enjoying the Edward Scissorhand nature of this. However, there is just a little bit of a fall off in some of the detail in the blacks, and then there's some blocking up in those blues for me. So from a technical standpoint, I just can't come up into that gold range, but I am really enjoying the theatre style of the theatrical style of this print.
Thank you, Kelly. Have we got anyone else that wants to have a whirl? Oh, yeah, Craig, go for it.
Yeah, I am at 94, and I put myself there for those reasons, Kelly. For some of those issues, I agree with you, Tony. I think this is exquisite. It gives me Edward Scissorhands meets Mrs. Lovett. And yeah, I think that it's beautiful. I am going to raise my score a little bit more.
Thank you, Craig. Have we got anything else to add there, judges, before I hand it back? Away you go, Tony. It's all yours. Oh, I was right. Oh, yeah. I can't see you.
It's all right. It's okay. I'm tricky. I just tease people. Sorry. Email on us. Yeah, 98. I'm still happy with that. I go up there, Kelly, and how do you work your scoring out on bringing it down that low on just those faults? You know, I find that quite harsh, to be honest. Like, I mean, even if the thing was gold with distinction, those, you know, I don't really have an issue with what you're saying too much. I find them quite minor. I think a lot of the artwork is quite intentional and quite, just done to a very high standard. And I still think that this is a gold with distinction, and it would just be nice for one more judge or two more judges to come up into that. It would be fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony. Judges, can you please rescore? And we have gone up 2 points to 92, a gold award. Congratulations. Can we have the next print, please? For those of you on the live stream, the silence is waiting for our judges to hop up off their chairs, go up and have a look at the print, and then they come back and sit down and enter their scores. We've got some lovely Ilford lights shining down on our prints. Oh, there's lots of dancing around each other today, isn't there? We have some scores now, please, judges. And we have an initial score of 83, a silver award. Are we happy with that, judges? Oh, no, we've got a challenge here from Tony. Take it away.
I scored it at 87. I'll use some really technical language for you. Jesus, this is weird. It's just so unusual and so different. It's almost feels like somebody's doing braille to you in some way, in some form, but it's not. That it's just a representation of shapes, but of hands. And I think the presentation is very skillful. Using black mats can go horribly wrong, but you can sort of see that the photographer here knows what they're doing. With their presentation, the cropping is superb, their paper choice is interesting, and it's just something just totally different. We're sort of not too far away from a distinction, guys. It would be nice. I think it's very hard to talk about. So yeah, let's see where you go with this.
Thank you, Tony. Kelly, you are down the other end, so we'll hear from you, please.
I am the bad guy here again. I'm sorry, guys. But for me to go up into that silver with distinction scoring range, I'm currently on 74, and I am listening because I am enjoying the awkwardness of this, and I'm loving the black mat on that black paper, and I'm really enjoying the choice of paper. However, silver with distinction for me means it has to be excellent in its visual communication, as it says here on our scoring card, and it's not communicating to me a story visually. I can interpret many different things from this. However, I'm still taken back to that very far left wrist that's just cut off. We've got a beautiful flow and motion of the fingers and movements, but yet there's a hard cut off on that far left arm wrist. And then the hands that meet in the far right-hand side, to me, the connection there, there's no distance between them that's similar in the other two. So there's a lot going on here, but for me to come up into that silver with distinction range, it needs to have more visual communication for me, and it's just lacking that. I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you, Kelly. Yeah, take it away. Yep. Go, Joe.
I was right on the average and at 83, and I really enjoy this. I think the paper choice is wonderful. I think if you want to use... the story is a little bit unclear, but I think that this is the fun of it, that you can actually build your own story. So is it braille? Is it, like a magician practicing their close-up magic. I sort of also look at this and go, is it a kid lying on their, like in the dark in a cot, like singing Twinkle Twinkle to themselves, and that's where they end on that little star when they're trying to go to sleep. So, I mean, would I go up into silver distinction? I'm not quite sure, but I think that that there's magic in the fact that you can sort of read your own storyline into it, and it is beautifully handled. So well done to the author. I think I might come up a little bit.
Thank you, Joe. Judges, have we got anything else to add before I hand it back to Tony? No, take it away.
I think only my psychologist could figure this one out for me. But yeah, I think it's weird, but weird good, and just something. So do I. Yeah, but yeah, I think it's just something out of the ordinary. It makes no sense, so there's no point looking at the scoring card trying to figure that out either, I don't think, to be honest. But yeah, just yeah, let's see where it goes. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony. Judges, please rescore. And we have an 85 silver distinction. Congratulations. Can we have the next print, please? And we have a score of 78, a bronze award. Are we all happy with that, judges? Congratulations. Can I have a comment, please, from Kelly? Were you looking at me for a comment? Oh, yep. That would be great. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, Kelly, sorry. Yes. I just saw you looking at me, so I was giving you the opportunity. No, that's fine. Thank you.
I think this print sits really well within that scoring range here. I'm enjoying the circular glow, the way that it's been lit from behind there. That's definitely added to the connection there. I feel like a different crop could also enhance this, and definitely a different direction of light. To reduce the amount of light sitting below the arms. That could be more flattering for both of them and hold you in that connection, in that embrace of each other. But yeah, I love the colours throughout this as well.
Thank you, Kelly. Can we have a blank screen, please? Just going to do another judge change. Belinda, thank you very much. If you could hop off. And Joe Francis, if you could come back on for us, please. Yeah, you're good. The computer said yes. Wonderful. Can we have the next print, please? Next print, please. Thank you. We have the wonderful print handlers behind the scenes moving the prints in and out for the judges, and it is quite challenging for them to hear us across the 3 judging rooms. But they're doing a great job. And we have a score of 74, a high professional standard. can I have a comment, please, from someone? Yeah, Craig, thank you.
I think this is a really interesting concept. It feels quite cinematic. I think that there are some unresolved design elements around the fading of the arms and the layering of the fabric and the mountains in the background that need to come together better to take this up into awards range.
Thank you, Craig. Can we have the next print, please? Judges, we are running a little bit over time, so if we can just keep our comments nice and concise, that would be fantastic. And we have an initial score of 84, a silver award. However, Craig, you are in the gold range and you are welcome to take it away.
And I think it looks like I'm not on my own.
You're not on your own.
This is really bold and it freaks me out. This is going to be in my dreams tonight, haunting me. I think the color choices, the vibrancy, the depth, I think it adds a real unique quality in the print. And yeah, I've put this at 92.
Okay, we have a real range here, so I am going to go to the other end with Joe, please, on 75.
Hi, I was quite low on this one, 75. But for me, it's disjointed. I don't understand how these elements come together. The lighting on the bright lighting on the balloons, the mask, the clothing, the costume, is at a complete opposite end to the really soft landscape in the background with the trees and such. The person in the background throwing a peace sign, like they're posing for a selfie with the smoke added on. It just feels like there's a whole lot of elements in there that don't really connect to each other at all. And I'm open to listening to if somebody can explain a little bit more about that. For me, I would be happy to hear it. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. And can we hear from the other Joe? Thank you.
To me, this is theatre. We are in one of those beautiful, old, rickety, falling apart theatres you go to in different Asian countries, and we're watching a production. And they've got these beautiful old-fashioned paintings in the background, which you often see. And it's not meant to be real, it's meant to be theatre, and it is over the top, and the character poking out at the back just to add extra creep value. It's just beautifully done. I mean, to me, it pops from here, and when you get up, you've got an equal amount of interest factor. And I love the fact that we're getting an entire sense of a personality and character with a mask on. I think that's really quite clever. Yeah, I've scored this 92, and I definitely think it sits well within the gold range. And I can actually lift my score, so I will probably do that, and I encourage you guys to too.
Thank you, Joe. Kelly, you wanted to speak? Go for it.
Yeah, I'm at 78. I am at the other end of the spectrum here with Joe. For me to take it into that gold scoring range, when we talk about this being a character in a theatre, in a controlled environment where lights are positioned, characters are on display, things like that. Not saying that that's what that is, but for me to go to gold, I've got to know what has the photographer brought to this. and I'm seeing a few technical flaws here in terms of the reds. There's a few reds in the skin tones of the hand. There's some reds in the peace symbol in the background, and then there's some reds bleeding into the mask there. So for me, just a little bit more control in terms of the print quality here. I could definitely come up, but yeah, some of those bright highlights, I've got to look at what the photographer's actually bringing to this.
Thank you, Kelly. Tony, I saw your hand there.
Yeah, I'm on 82. I'll go up to 92. You know, that you just feel like this, you know, that this is pure theatre, and thank you for pointing that out, because I think that was sort of in my mind, but maybe not quite cemented, but I think it is, and it's very playful. It's crazy, you know, a bit demented. You know, the technique's fantastic. You know, the brightness of that mask, and just the craziness of the feel, and just the uncomfortableness of the blue around the head. You know, I've been to quite a few Indian productions where they change masks quickly, and you really get that sense of feeling here, and you can just about hear it, you can just about smell it. I'll be up in 92.
Thank you, Tony. I am going to hand it back to Craig now for right of reply.
Okay, well, it sounds like we're there, actually. I think I love the disjointedness of it. I think that character in the background adds an even more creepy quality. So, yeah, I think let's just rescore.
Judges, please rescore. Wonderful discussion. We have gone up to a 90 Gold Award. Congratulations. Can we have the next print, please? Tony's just going to step off. Can we please grab Russell? Are you able to jump in for Tony, please? Oh, stand up. Yep, you're doing good. Oh, he's looking a bit stiff. Thank you. You can stay logged in as Tony. I've just put a note in here, Russell, so just enter your score. Yep, leave it as it is. Thank you. And we have a score of 82, a silver award. Congratulations. Can I have a comment, please, from someone? Anyone? Kelly, thank you.
There's so many beautiful shapes in this, and I'm really enjoying that pose, the way that it's been lit, possibly a little bit more control over some of the highlights. I'm just being continually drawn to that bright area above the shoulder in that bottom right-hand corner there, but really beautifully presented.
Thank you, Kelly. Can we have the next print, please? Oh, are you right, Joe? Oh, sorry. Okay, next print, please. Next print, please. Oh, Joe wants to come on. Yeah. Can I please have Catherine? Can you hop back on, please? Oh, Tony is stepping off, and can we please have Russell on? Just, you can stay as Tony.
Sure.
Scores, please, judges. And we have an initial score of 90, a gold award. However, congratulations, we'll just have a little clap. We do have we have an automatic challenge. So, who would like to take it? We have got, Kelly, actually, you're the highest. Yep, we'll give it to you.
Yeah, let's do this. Wow. This has got impact. The colours are glorious. There's the natural feel of this with the level of awkwardness that's been presented here and the way that it's been, just beautifully put together. It's so awkward yet delicate. And I feel that for me to have it in that gold scoring range, we're already there on 92. I scored at 92. I just think it's definitely worth having a conversation about because it's been beautifully crafted. And when we look at the description of that gold scoring range, outstanding mastery across all areas of technique, craft, production and print quality. I didn't go gold distinction for a couple of little teeny tiny reasons, but I think what's been presented to us is just, it's glorious. Let's talk.
Thank you, Kelly. Can we please hear from Catherine Williams?
I was on 88 with this, and I agree in terms of, the initial impact of this is glorious. There are specific elements that I'm really fighting with, and in particular, the hand, the base hand, which, yes, it is awkward, but it also is out of scale in comparison to her other hand, and that I'm really finding a disjoint between them. And then the other, when we're talking about technical perfection, but the butterfly on her hand is sharper than her hand. And I feel like that aspect of it, obviously, I'm being quite harsh with those pieces of critique. And I think there is other elements of great beauty in this, so I don't want to discredit those. I think, her poise and her face and those aspects of it are very beautiful. It's already in gold, so I can go to gold, but I'm not higher than that.
Okay, Russell, did you want to speak?
Just to reinforce its goldness, the hands are actually beautiful, and the way they mirror each other or balance each other. This is a very, what's the word? She's a skinny little thing. She's angular, and yet the lighting is so softly falling about her that there's a sensuality to it that isn't normally associated with people who are quite angular like that. I think the hand that's presented to us at the bottom of the frame is almost the most powerful point for me. It's not the prettiest of hands, and it's not been given to us as such. It's just part of that lovely mirroring of that shape that they've given us. And I scored at 91, and probably be talked up a little bit if that's what we need to do. Catherine, the butterfly and the hand, I think, are commensurate with each other, and there's even a lovely little shadow from the butterfly on the thumb, so it really is quite a qualitative piece of work.
Thank you, Russell. Craig, you wanted to add something?
Just really briefly, I think that this speaks of nature's perfect imperfections and the delicate nature of how fragile everything is, the fragility in the hand, the fragility of a butterfly's life, the fragility of the leaf skeletons as her hair. So that's what I see into this. I scored at 91, and I think we could probably sneak a few more points into this one.
Thank you, Craig. And Jo, would you like to speak? Yeah, go for it.
I was on 88 there with Catherine as well. I think a lot of the points that I was thinking about have been talked about, but I just I find it a little disturbing that there's not even a semblance of her eye at the back, no lashes. She could be winking at the butterfly for all I know, and I find that just takes a little bit of the magic out of it for me, but the rest of it is great. And I was probably a bit harsh on 88, but if somebody can talk to that, that'd be great.
Thank you, Jo. I think we've been through everyone now, so I'll hand it back to Kelly for right of reply.
Yeah, I don't think I need to add anything else. I think we're all really enjoying this print, and we're going to celebrate it with our new score.
Thank you, Kelly. Judges, please rescore. And we've shuffled up 2 points to 92, a gold award. Congratulations. Thank you. Okay, and can we have the next print, please? Okay, and we have a score of 71, a professional standard. Can we please have a comment from someone for the photographer? Tony, thank you.
Yeah, the choice of black matte is not really working with the darkness in the images. You know, the series idea is fantastic, but just make sure that your tonality runs all the way through all three images.
Thank you, Tony. Just before we move on, Tony and Kelly, you've been on for a wee while. Are you feeling okay, or would you like a break? Fine. You're okay? Are you both okay? Yeah, cool. Okay, we'll leave you on for a little bit longer. Can we have the next print, please? Okay, we have a score of 85, a silver distinction. Congratulations. Can we have a comment, please, from someone? Kelly, thank you.
Yeah, I don't mind at all. I really enjoy the Sherlock Holmes nature of this, and that cat is spectacular. I am on 83. I did struggle to come up into that distinction range. However, I can appreciate the score because I was borderlining there. There's a couple of little things that could really help elevate this even further. I'm controlling those two little white areas on the cuff, and then the chain that's coming off the button that's not connected to the watch. Little things like that can help create some really strong dynamic leading lines throughout the frame that'll continue to take your eye on a journey. So well done on presenting something that you know has got us excited, but it's definitely got potential to go further.
Thank you, Kelly. Next print, please. Okay, we have a score of 75, a bronze award. Congratulations. Can I have a comment, please, from Catherine? Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations to the photographer. The girl and the cat both have the same sort of sullen, grouchy look, which is very successful here. There are a couple of things. There is sort of a colour banding, which runs across from the cat diagonally up, and that is causing a bit of magenta cast, and it's quite distracting. And just in terms of posing, I think, you know, even though we're looking at the sullen girl and the sullen cat, she's very slouched over, and there's sort of, we're losing a bit of light through her neck and where the hair is there, so we're losing a little bit of detail through there as well.
Thank you, Catherine. Can we have the next print, please? Okay, we have a score of 78, a bronze award. We're happy with that. Good challenge here from Catherine Williams.
Yeah, I gave this, I was in silver at 84, and in many ways I thought we're being presented with the obvious, you know, but then I look at her expression and I think it's very successful, this expression. She is depressed and torn, and this speaks to that age of teenagehood where just everything is actually going wrong. And okay, so the titles are kind of obvious, but then even just the styling, you know, it's like the socks are pulled up. It's like, pull your socks up and get on with it. And she's sort of perched up on the stool and her feet cannot touch the floor. So there's these sort of elements that I think are successful in there and bringing it up higher for me.
Thank you, Catherine. Can we hear from Tony, please, on the other end of the scale?
Yeah, I'm on 75, so award standard with bronze. I actually haven't read that book closest to her arm. But yeah, I find it being spoon-fed an image, really. So I look at it and I take that out of it, and, you know, you read the books and you go, okay, so she's going through all of this. So that is very obvious, but then I look at the rest of the image and what does that tell me? It doesn't really, you know, she doesn't really give me much more than what is obviously presented in the books. So I'm on bronze. I will listen to what the others say and I'll raise my score up a bit, but definitely not into silver.
Thank you, Tony. Kelly, your turn.
Do you know, I borderlined with this. I landed on 78. I wanted to go 88, and for a couple of reasons. And I can still come up because it's got some really great narrative to it. Even though it is in your face, I first interpreted those books as, here, mum and dad have said, take these, read them, just get on with it. But then there's a book in there called How to Make Your Parents Proud for Dummies, and I went, well, a parent's not going to buy that. So I'm like, maybe the parents didn't buy that because, you know, like kids today, they're so overwhelmed with everything. There's so much noise and there's so much information. Where do they start? What do they do? Who do they listen to? Where do they go? So I feel that this particular print is addressing a lot of common issues that are happening in today's society. I feel that to go up into that next scoring range, it could have been handled a little differently, perhaps with a little bit more control of light and I don't know what else. A print quality for me was probably one of the things that did hold me back because I'm just losing some detail in the foot area there, but it's got something. I think we need to talk about this because, as you said, Catherine, there's something here, and yeah.
Thank you, Kelly. Can we hear from Craig, please?
Yeah, Tony, I'm with you. I was at 75. I think it's well crafted. We've been spoon-fed for sure. Without the books, you would just get grumpy teenager and then make the assumptions. I think that title that you read out, Kelly, makes me feel that it's even more spoon-fed. That, you know, everything we need to know about this image is what we actually read and not what we see or feel. So I'm struggling to justify bringing my score up from where I am. I'm listening to the chat. There are some technicals that I have some issues with as well. There's like a square haloing around the background there. But I'm struggling at the moment.
Thank you, Craig. Have we got anything more to add before I hand it back to Catherine? No, it's all yours.
Yeah, I mean, to address the technical parts first, I agree, and that is why I have sat on 84 in terms of the print quality. The spoon-fed aspect of this, yes, we are being presented with these, but we are actually being presented with the reason for this girl's sorrow. And when you look into her eyes, it's not grumpy. That is sadness. She has dewiness over her eyeballs. She is sad and, depressed. And there's also, in terms of her body language, there's a little bit more subtlety to the body language. The inward turned foot, that sort of gives a little bit more of a feeling of insecurity. So I think that it is very appropriate in terms of the turmoil that a teen is going through. I'd love to see it come up a little bit.
Thank you, Catherine. Judges, please rescore. And we have a score of 80, a silver award. Congratulations. Can we have the next print, please? Have some scores, please, judges. Okay, we have a score of 92, a gold award. Congratulations. And we've got challenges. So, oh, you're both on the same, so you can... Okay. Craig, you can take it away.
I'm a 96. There's a lifetime worth of anguish and pain on display here that you cannot... It's hard to look at this and it's hard to look away. I feel the emotion, I feel the sadness, I think that the way that it's been presented and the treatment of the colour, the skin tones, bringing out that kind of redness as well, all emphasise it. I think each image individually is striking. Together, I think they tell a more complete story. I don't think there is a weak link here. I think it's a stunning piece of communication with a bag of emotion.
Thank you, Craig. Kelly, you are next in line.
Yeah, I scored this a 78. I feel that it sits quite well within that very high standard of professional practice, craft, skill and technique. For me, yes, I can see the pain, I can see the anguish in this person. However, in those shadowy areas, just the inconsistencies of skin tones and those magenta reds bleeding through into the legs and into the hands, for me, it isn't there. And then we've got some, some magenta-y sort of tones creeping into the vignette around each of those images. But we're judging a print competition here, and we really have to be careful with how we matte and present our images, and just the way that the matte's coming away there at the last image on the right-hand side at the bottom here. For me to bring it up into that scoring range, a lot of those things really need to be addressed.
Okay, thank you, Kelly. Tony, can we hear from you, please?
I'm on a measly 93 and I'm coming up into gold with distinction. So, so that's 3 of us at least. Yeah, I see what you're talking about, Kelly, but I just really don't care. I think it's all about the psychology of this man and his feeling, his body language, what he's doing, the contortion, the expression, the 3 different expressions, the feel of this, the way the images fall out of each side of the mat on the left and the right, and that's very intentional. So it's presented in such a way. You know what? When we leave here, that'll end up in a print case somewhere, and it'll be digitally online. And I think it's going to stand the test of time. This is so simple, so full of expression and soul, and it's hard to say anything without trying not to be derogatory about this person or anything like that and making assumptions. But it's giving us a lot in such simple, beautiful images. And I'll be up on 97.
Thank you, Tony. And Catherine, can we hear from you, please?
Yeah, I was on 96, and man, my heart and my gut beat both at the same time as I looked at this. And that just in terms of the presentation, just to slightly address that first, is I think we're meant to disregard the matte peeling away. But the cinematic sort of cyans and the magentas, they work together to add to that tension and grittiness of this. Everything feels really purposeful. The hardness of the metal stool that he is perched upon, the tension through his feet. I feel like I'm looking at someone who, it feels like it's torture to be in his body. That is what I get throughout all of these. I mean, I was on 96, and I need to go up a couple of points at least, because even 96 just feels too light for this in terms of the emotional impact that I won't forget in a hurry.
Thank you, Catherine. I think we've gone through. Have we gone? Would you like to? Yep. Where you go, Joe? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I was sitting on 82 with this. I gave this a silver. I think a lot of the things that Kelly has mentioned is things that were holding me back. So the technical flaws, as I see them, was taking me. I don't think I could go up to gold with this. The fall off of the light at the bottom of the frames. I agree it's meant to be awkward and uncomfortable to look at, but I think I've scored it accordingly. So for how it makes me feel, and then how it has been presented to us.
Thank you, Joe. I will now send it back to Craig for right of reply.
Yeah, Tony, I agree. I just don't care. This image, Tony, you said when we leave here today, we will remember this image. And I think that says it all. this is a gold with distinction.
Judges, can you please rescore? Oh, and you've done it. 95, a gold distinction. Congratulations. That was some great chat. Can we have a blank screen, please? We're going to do a judge swap around. For the people who won't get off, we're going to kick you off. Kelly Brown, can you hop off, please? And Belinda Richards, can we have you on? And Tony Carter, you are off. Yes, because you won't get off. I'm going to send you off. I'm not putting you on. And Russell, can we have you on, please? Sometimes judges just get into the swing of it, and it's really hard to get you guys to move around. I think we're looking good. Okay, I'll give you a chance to log in. Okay, can we have the next print, please? We have plenty of very passionate judges here over the next 3 days, and there is the opportunity to reward them. So if you are in Christchurch and you have a favourite judge, you can vote for them at the NZIPP table for the Ian Poole Memorial Award. It's a really cool way to acknowledge our great judges. Just waiting for Russell's to come through. Oh, you've got a spinny wheel. The wheel of death. Oh, don't say that. That's awful. We'll just keep waiting for the whirligig. Some stage it will send it through to me. It's still whirly. Whirly, whirly. We might have to do a wee technical call out. Oh no, here we go. We've done it. We've done it. Okay. So we have a initial score of 79. However, Russell is right up there on 91. So we're going to hand it over to him to hear what he has to say.
Look, it just jumped. This little fella just jumped out of that print to me. And when I got up there, I loved the earnestness on his face, the detail in his attire, the culture of it. And then I kind of just saw this almost like face of Jesus, if you like, for want of a better description, looking down on him. It's just what the shape of the trees and the texture on that material did for me. It was like a bearded sort of face looking down on him, and just the cane in the background, his little feet pointing each which way, little awkward little child, but the expression and the detail and everything, and then that lovely wispiness about it as well, just gave it a whole kind of magic for me.
Okay, thank you, Russell. Everyone else is down in the 70s, so who would like to speak next? Because you're all very, very close. Craig, yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so I'm at 77. I saw the face too, Russell, and I thought that this is probably an ancestor looking down on him. And so I got that story from it as well. I didn't feel an initial impact with this one, and then when I got in close, the highlights are very bright on his face, and that kind of just let it down for me a little bit. So, I mean, I'd be happy to come up. I think it's pretty interesting. It's very graphic, it's creative, but not quite as far as gold.
Thank you, Craig. Have we got anyone else that would like to add something to that? No? Okay, we going?
I'll just finish off with Craig's excellence, creativeness and graphic. And apart from its mood, I'll just leave it at that.
Okay, thank you, Russell. Are we ready to rescore, judges? Okay, we have shuffled up a wee bit to 81, a silver award. Congratulations.
Shuffling's good.
Shuffling is good. Can we have the next print, please? Okay, scores please, judges. And we have an initial score of 87, a silver distinction. However, we do have 2 people in the gold range, so I'm going to hand this to Craig to start talking.
So when we're sitting back here looking at it, we kind of see this colourful mess that's all neon and glowing, and I think that in itself is a really interesting graphic. Then we get in and you see the start point, the middle point, and the end point. I think that tells a complete story of this dancer's movement. But then what elevated it into gold for me is the things that the shapes of the motion have created. There is, in the center of this piece, a mermaid who is riding some kind of sea creature. And I think it looks so otherworldly. It's absolutely incredible. I adore this.
Thank you, Craig. We are now going to hear from Russell because he is way down the other end.
I am down the other end. It's really quite beautiful, and we're being asked to look from one end to the other, if you like. And I climb that beautiful shapes and all that movement, and I love all of that until I get to the very top. And then I'm let down seriously badly. I mean, what is that? Is it a claw? Is it a hand? It's got no human element to it whatsoever. Just how they've allowed that hand to be shaped, and they've not changed that is beyond me, to be honest. I mean, they've missed the very point of elegance that our eye is led to. And just that last little bit of lack of control just doesn't take me to the levels that you have. With that, I would have been right up there with you.
Thank you, Russell. Yes, Catherine, I can see your hand. Go for it.
Yeah, I was on 90 with this, and I mean, I'll probably go straight to your comment, Russell, about the hand. Your words were that you'd be right up there if it wasn't for that hand, and the hand is so minor in terms of the overall artistry that we're being presented with. And to me, thank you for the mermaid. I didn't see that, and that makes me love it a little bit more. But this is all about the transitions. And I thought initially I could see the 3 figures. And then I realized that there was a 4th face in there towards the bottom, and I thought, wow, you know, the beautiful sort of transition that's coming through. And then the elegance in the movement shapes and that sort of encircling around. that actually holds us into the area with the most movement. I find it innovative being presented with the most stillness on the outer parts of the frame. I'd also say that the paper choice in here gives an extra feeling of elegance and luxury to this that holds it all together further.
Thank you, Catherine. Yeah, you had some judges stand up. I'll go back and have another look. Joe, can I hear from you now, please?
I love the impact this has when it turns around, and it's and I've awarded it as a silver with distinction for that exact reason. Where it lets me down a little bit is the dancer at the bottom. I'm assuming this is the one dancer. The dancer at the bottom is sitting at the bottom. Is she sitting? Is she standing? She's just sort of floating in space there, but it's a really static pose, as if she, you know, that's her starting point, but she's not grounded. I agree with the hand at the top. Because it turns into that claw, and because it is where you're drawn from the face to that's right up to the finishing. That's a full stop on this image, and the hand is just, it's quite an awkward pose for somebody where there's so much delicate shapes and swirls and such movement in here. For it to be so like claw-like is quite jarring. The other thing that I have an issue with is her eye at the top. If you look at the dancer who's right at the top, looking back down in this beautiful, amazing pose, her left eye is quite dark, but her right eye, it's almost as if she's lost her eyeball, and she's got a glass eye that's only white. I can't see any pupil in that. And I find that really disconcerting, because there's so much beauty in the rest of the picture, and then she turns into some almost grotesque being at the top, where it's real different to the beauty that I want to feel in this image, and that's being conveyed through the movement and the smooth shapes that's created. I think it's great. It's silver with distinction. I just don't think I can go into gold.
Thank you, Joe. Have we heard from everyone? Does anyone else want to speak before? No? Okay, I will hand it back to Craig for right of reply.
Okay. So just addressing a couple of concerns. I think we have to get out of our mind that this is a dance movement. This is a piece of performance that has been transformed into something otherworldly. The hand at the top is theatrical. I can see the expression in that eye that looks like she wants to fight what's going on in this transformation in the middle here. So she's going to throw down some magic juju and fix what's wrong with her. I see that grotesqueness in there, and I appreciate that from it. I don't think that detracts from me. I think this is really unique. That I think the colours are beautiful, and I think it should be rewarded with a gold.
Thank you, Craig. Judges, please rescore. Craig, can you just enter your score back in, please? Oh, there we go. Oh, and you've done it. We have a score of 90, a gold award. Congratulations. Can we have the next print, please? We are nearing the end of our print submissions, so we will be taking a quick 2-minute break as the team set up the computer screen soon. Okay, we have a initial score of 83. However, we do have someone in the gold range, which puts us into automatic challenge, and that is Joe. No, Belinda, sorry. I beg your pardon. I'm so sorry.
Yes, I scored this at 92, and what a delightful image. The impact of this is just, was this so fun? Okay, yeah, the look on that lady's face, she's just having an absolute whale of a time. I think it's been photographed beautiful, the light is beautiful, the colour choices have been done wonderfully. There's detail in all of those darks. This just is an amazing image that gives me when I get a bit older, this would be the kind of thing I want to take a photo of myself and put on the wall because, it's just sort of feels so fun. I'd love to hear what my other judges have to say.
Okie dokie, we have two people down the other end. Catherine, can we hear from you, please?
Yeah, I was in 78 and I agree in terms of the expression is absolutely delightful. I was trying to make a little bit more sense of what we're being presented. I did see a thing recently that hobby horsing was actually a sport. And
I couldn't believe it either.
so I wondered if that was what the presentation was, but then I was also trying to make sense of her leather hat. Is it a jockey? But then I can't make sense of her clothing. And so there was just things that were unanswered in terms of understanding what we've been presented with. And I also felt it felt a little bit muddy through the print in comparison to her arms and her face as well. So I didn't feel that the overall finishing was successful enough to go higher than that.
Okay, thank you, Catherine. And Joe, can we hear from you, please?
I scored this 86, and I think I might have been a bit shy. The more I look at it, the more joy it brings me. And if we're talking about judging from the heart, this is a pretty magical moment. If we're looking at her hat and saying that that's disjointed and it's not, she's not wearing an equestrian helmet, she's flying, she's floating, she's in an aeroplane, but it's got a horse's head. She's like up in the air, and I think this is part of the magic of the movement and the way her foot is positioned, the fact that you can't see really how she's supported underneath. She's just having a really joyful time. I would have gone probably a little bit higher initially if it had been a little bit of a tighter crop. I feel like it sits somewhat awkwardly in the frame, but just it's just I love looking at this. She's having a great time. They've done a really beautiful job with the lighting and just all that movement that's floating around her is great. I hope you guys want to come up a bit.
Okay, thank you for that. Have we got anything new to add, judges, before I hand it back to Belinda? No, it's all yours, Belinda. Thank you.
All right, well, Joe, thank you. You did my job for me. Look, this image deserves a gold. It's been well thought out. The jockey cap, I believe, is a jockey cap. I just think it's been a bit of an old-timey jockey cap because we've got an old-timey hobby horse. We've got old-timey clothes. I think we've got a woman who's she's dressed like a lady, but she's acting like a child. She's doing the things she's not supposed to do and what's not expected of her. I think it just brings so much joy. And as Joe said, this is an image to judge from the heart, but I can't even really find any technical issues with this. So I think it deserves a gold, and I'd really love it if you guys came up there with me.
Thank you, Belinda. Judges, please rescore. Okay, we have moved up to 87, a silver with distinction. Congratulations. Judges, you're doing a marvellous job. However, we are running over time, so if we can please keep our comments concise, that would be appreciated. Okay, next print, please. Okay, we have a score of 72, a professional standard. You're all within koe of each other. So if we can just grab a comment from Russell, thank you.
Sure, a nice thought, lovely subject. It's just, it would be helped if it was just not overlit so heavily. Just drop back the lighting and get a bit more mood and texture going and you'll have a nice image.
Oh yes, Craig just wants to add something.
Yeah, just quickly adding that there are some really serious masking issues around the hair that you need to have a look at.
Thank you, Craig. Okay, we are on our last print, so next print, please. After this print, we'll have a quick break. We have some scores, please, judges. Okay, we have an initial score of 85, silver distinction. However, we do have someone in the gold range who is Russell, so it is all yours on 91.
Thank you, yep, 91. I squeaked it into gold for innovation and communication. I mean, really, really cleverly done. And, you know, you go into each quadrant and they're each a delight in their own, really. The bottom right one, I think, defying gravity with the little index finger touching the supposed ceiling is just a piece of genius. And then what I also love is the capsule sort of is in, if you like, how it's been presented to us has a couple of things happening to it. One, you know, we've got one coming down, one going up, but and laterally, but if you look at it, it also flows around as well, you know, so you see that? It also flows anti-clockwise. So the head popping out of the bottom capsule on the bottom left is also a beautiful piece of work. And just that's a graphic, simple, gorgeous, fun piece of communication that's been presented to us beautifully.
Thank you, Russell. We are now going to hear from Catherine Williams. It's down the other end.
Yeah, I was on 82. I am pleased that we get to talk about it. It is a little bit hard to read and understand, and I think that's why we all needed to spend quite a lot of time with it. The visual impact is quite striking. But when you go in there, where I kind of felt a little bit let down, I felt a little bit let down in the expressions, and I felt that some of the shapes were significantly stronger than others. And particularly, I thought the shape of the top left one was really striking and worked really effectively in that sort of capsule shape that's been presented. But I felt some of the other ones let that down a little bit, and also the bottom left image, the highlight through his arm is really sort of burnt out as well. You know, that said, I'm definitely wanting to hear more on this.
Thank you, Catherine. I'm going to hand it over to Craig.
I'm glad we got more time with this, Russell, because I was trying to piece together the puzzle, really. And for me, I feel like this character is so unbelievably bored and frustrated that they are literally climbing the walls. And I think I don't know, maybe it's just me, but we've all been in a situation at home when we're frustrated, we're bored and we're fidgety and we're rolling around on the sofa and we put our legs up and we lie down like this. I think like that bottom left one is the one that like clinches it for me. I love how his head's just kind of like, oh. So I'm glad that we got to sit with this, and that's what I'm reading into this. And yeah, I will be raising my score.
Okay, thank you, Craig. And Joe, did you have something you wanted to add?
I just wanted to add quickly, like this has immediate impact when you turn it around. I really wanted to love how the shapes all flow together, but the illusion is somewhat sort of broken for me by the inconsistencies with where the shadows lie within those shapes. If that had been addressed, I would have gone way up into gold with you.
Okay, thank you, Joe. Have we got anyone else? Otherwise, I am handing it back to Russell. Take it away.
I'm just looking at it as a simple, clean piece of entertainment, if you want to call it that. I don't have to look for a story in everything that I see at all. And Catherine, if you like that top left shape, it pretty much mirrors 3 of the shapes in there. So if you like that one, you like 3 of them. The only one that's any different is the one in the top right, and I think it's glaringly different on purpose. So yeah, I just think it's a very cool, innovative, something I've not seen before. Quite brave piece of work, and I scored it and squeezed it into gold, and I'm happy where it lands.
Thank you, Russell. Judges, please rescore. Russell, can you just add your... Yep, perfect. And we have gone to 87, a silver distinction. Congratulations. Okay, everyone, that was our last print entry, so we're just going to take a 2-minute break. We are going to be real speedy because we're running over time. So I'm going to do a quick run while the guys set up. Okay, judges, we're just waiting for one more person. Oh, here she is. She's back. No, she's not. We're just waiting for our assistant. Oh, there she is. I knew you were there somewhere. I can't really see very well. And then we're going to kick off our digital entries. And I'm just going to make sure. So who are we going to have on? We are going to change the judging panel. So we are now going to have Tony Carter, please, Kelly Brown, Joe Francis, Belinda Richards, and Russell Hamlet. Sorry, Catherine. I know. You gave me the dance and everything. Oh, no, you're off, Craig. Yep, you're good. You got to dance. Oh, actually, no, you still don't get on even if you do dance. Sorry. Okay, let's all get logged in. Actually, where is Russell? Oh, no, okay. No, I need it. Can I please have Tony? Can you hop on, please? Oh, we did want you on, Tony. Yeah, you're on. You get on. And then, Craig, can you hop on, please, just so that we've got a nice balance? Oh, Catherine, she's looking at me. She's eyeballing me. Oh, I feel so awkward. Okay, everyone log in, please, so that we can get started because we are running over time. And we're all going a little bit crazy. Okie dokie. Right, everyone, we are ready to... Oh, hang on. No, hang on, we've got a glitch. Oh, I love a glitch. Makes life interesting. We've got people running. Oh, hang on. We're getting there. For anyone that didn't leave just before and go into the foyer, there's hot chips and they smell so good. I'm really hungry now. Hot chips out there. Out in the foyer. Oh no. Someone BYO'd hot chips. Who does that? That is so cruel. Okay, so we are ready to go. So, first digital image, please. Okay, we have a score of 71, a professional standard. Can I have a comment, please, from Kelly, please? Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Really enjoying the connection with the camera here. The styling is lovely. Just be careful with your cropping through those fingers in the bottom of the frame there. And there's just a couple of little highlights there that could be controlled in your lighting.
Thank you, Kelly. Next image, please. Those on the live stream, we've just got a little delay, but the judges are just standing up now to have a look at this image. Okay, we have a score of 75, a bronze award, and we are all within cooey of each other. So yeah, Craig, please, a comment from you.
Yeah, I think this is really clever and creative. It is the process of creation, and I feel like there's a burst of colour going onto this canvas, and I question the treatment of presenting this in black and white.
Thank you, Craig. Next image, please. We have some scores, please, judges. Okay, we have a score of 81, a silver award. And we have a challenge from Tony.
Yeah, I'm on 86 with this image. The landscape nature of the feel of the skin, how it's all sort of folded in, it's all pulled together, it's all held in there, and boy, she looks like she needs it held in there. The rusty feel of the brass strap where it's held together, giving it its age, the aged body, the beautiful body there. I feel that it's very tight. The lines of the body folding down, and then the bra coming up, and it's just the way it's just sort of all held. You can almost feel this person, and I think it's a silver distinction.
Thank you, Tony. Kelly, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I'm on 85. I'm right there with you. Wow. This sits with me heavy because, I don't know, like, for anyone that's never worn a bra, the weight that it has, I personally have had 2.1 kilos removed in breast tissue. I know what this weight feels like. Sometimes you can't breathe, and I feel like the way that clasp is pulling on those rusty hooks, like she's struggling to breathe. It's holding everything in, and I think as women, and the older that you get, the more you have to hold it in. I think that this is such an interesting interpretation of what a woman goes through daily. I'm not saying men don't go through shit, but holy hell, wearing a bra that holds stuff up, the weight that it feels like on your neck, on your shoulders, the permanent indents that you can't see in her shoulders. I literally want to undo that for her so she can breathe. I'm sorry I only gave this an 85 because it's actually making me quite emotional. I want to see this landscape of a woman's back. I want to see every story that she has to tell within those lines told. I want to see it rewarded. There is a scar in the middle of her back. It's not a fold, it's a scar. Like, I feel like this is such a creative, outstanding level of imagination. That's what gold stands for. Originality, thought, concept. I can't fault the technical skill either here. Like, it's so simple but yet so powerful, and I really want to, I'm going to go into gold, and I would love to see my fellow judges re-look at this and just feel it for a moment. hold your breath. Feel it with me.
Thank you,
And my
Kelly.
fellow judge.
And I'm going to hear from Joe. Yeah, please.
Yeah, Kelly, I feel all the weight of what it means to be a woman when I look at this photo. I feel the struggle that it is to conform yourself and to compress yourself into something smaller, something prettier, something younger. Yeah, what a clever way of showing us, without being smack in our face, just how crap it is to be a woman a lot of the time, and particularly how crap it is to be an old woman, an old invisible woman. Yeah, I gave it 82, and I think I underscored it. I think I'm going to come up to gold.
Okay, we have 2 in the lower level, and I'm going to hand it to Craig first on 78.
Okay, so I'm at 78. I have all of the same emotional connection to this. I have never felt this weight, but I might have worn a bra or 2 in my time. But I guess I just got hung up on this really technical thing of the gradient of colour from left to right. It's very warm here, it's very cool here. You've got this highlight on the shoulder blade here that's also very cool. I guess in the grand scheme of things, it is kind of minor. I will come up. I don't know if I can go into gold though, unless I can have that kind of resolved in my mind.
Okay, thank you, Craig. Have we got anything else to add, judges? Alrighty, I will hand it back to Tony for right of reply.
Now I feel I'm going to be the lowest score. This is weird. Craig, you need to channel your inner woman. We know it's in there. You can do it, Craig. You can do it. You can do it. And just the rest of what Kelly said. I mean, as a man, I cannot say any of that. And it's fabulous. You guys need to cheat and overcompensate for my measly 86.
Okay, thank
Not
you,
really.
judges.
I'm only joking about that. But
Thank you, Tony. Can you please rescore, judges?
yeah, why is it?
Tony, yeah.
Why is it? No, it's okay, isn't it? Why am I able? Normally it doesn't. Normally don't have to do that.
Okie dokie, we have moved to 89, which hits it into the review section. So with silver distinction, I'm just going to click on review here. Now, judges, you will be able to enter in either an 89 or a 90. Oh, this is exciting. Okay, and we have moved to 90, a gold award. Congratulations. Thank you very much, judges. Next image, please. We can confirm that there are hot chips available in the foyer that we can access. Oh, and wine. So just like, can we do an Uber Eats, guys? Oh, we've got some hangry judges. I'm not sure that's a good thing. We are running over, and I'm not saying that the hot chips are a reason to speed things up, but if we can try and keep our comments concise, that would be great. We've had some awesome discussion and some very cool awards coming through, but we'll try and keep this moving. Okie dokie, we have a score of 73, a professional standard, all within a couple of points of each other. Can I have a comment, please, from Craig? Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I think the colour palette on this is really lovely, so well done on that. I'm not sure what these 2 lines are in the foreground. I think that one is actually a cloning repetition, but those 2 could be removed just to simplify the foreground and maybe darken it a little bit more so we don't have that stark contrast between the dark inside the cave and the light there, and, you know, our eye travels down out of the bottom of the image. Let's darken it down and keep us in that moment.
Thank you, Craig. Can we have the next image, please? Just while the judges are having a look at this image, I am just reminding us all that we are in the Portrait Open category for the Iris Awards 2024. The Portrait Open category is for any type of portraiture photography where all forms of post-production within the global rules, including compositing, are allowed. We do not have animals or people, portraits of animals or people without it, or animals, sorry, without a human is what I'm trying to say. Oh my goodness, we'll get there. Okay, and we have all our scores in. We have a 72 professional standard, and again, all within 1 or 2 points of each other. So can I please have a comment from Kelly, please? Thank you.
Absolutely. Really lovely moment seen here by this contender. Just be careful of the controlling of your highlights and shadows here. There's a lot of loss of detail in those blacks, and some of those highlights are a little distracting just in behind him there. And watch your focal point as well.
Thank you, Kelly. Next image, please. Okay, we have a score of 72, a professional standard, and again, all within 2 points of each other. So a comment, please, from Joe. Thank you.
I love the little story of trying to bribe a child into smiling for the camera. To elevate it, you really need to try and have a bit more control of the lighting. It's a little bit everywhere, and it's not really guiding us into the photo in any way.
Thank you, Joe. Next image, please. Thank you, judges. We have a score of 75, a bronze award. Congratulations to the entrant. Can I have a comment, please, from Tony? Thank you.
Yeah, I think the quality and the lighting works quite well with the top part of the image. But the reflection down below sort of needs to be sort of toned down, and sort of splitting it right in the middle is sort of splitting the image into two. So just bear that in mind.
Thank you, Tony. Next image, please. And we have a score of 75, a bronze award. Congratulations. Can I have a comment, please, from Belinda?
Yeah, lovely image of this artist at work. I feel like the use of the multiple exposure here has kind of let the image down because of the white of the tank top on the right there. It just brings my eye straight to this blurry white shape. And I do question why this one's in black and white as well.
Thank you, Belinda. Okie dokie. Can I have the next image, please? Okay. We have a score of 74, a professional standard. And can I hear from Tony? Was that you leaning forward?
I'm happy to
Okay,
comment.
thank you.
Do you know, this has got it's got a lot of potential. I'd love to encourage the photographer to continue to explore this creative styling with the headdress and the wig and that ball-like shape that they're holding onto. Just be careful of cropping through those elements that you're using to tell a story because we're losing parts of those.
Thank you, Kelly. We are going to have a judging change because we've got people dancing to get on. Craig, can you hop off, please? And Catherine Williams, can we have you on? And Belinda, you can take a break. And can we have Joe Howell on, please? We do try and balance the judging out. Everyone wants to be on and having a look at the images, but we do have to try and keep it even. Okay, next image, please. Okay, we have a score of 73, a professional standard. Can I have a comment, please, from Kelly? Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's got a real Hollywood vibe to it. I'm enjoying the intensity of the stare here. There's just a few things in terms of the posing of the hands that could be softened and a little bit more control over that light. Possibly a slight sort of pullback as well in terms of that crop to show us a little bit more of this character, and then just watch some of those bright highlights in the sequins.
Thank you, Kelly. Next image, please. And we have a score of 75, a bronze award. Congratulations to the photographer. Can I have a comment, please, from Catherine? Were you nodding? Thank you.
Yeah, beautiful, honest expression from both the girl and the dog in here. The overall lighting is quite bright through the face and also the arm as well. That arm is taking us away from the connection between the two subjects. There is something a little unusual going on in the ear, and it almost feels like it's been something's been cloned out or pulled in on the ear on the right hand side. And just there's a few details that probably could have been tidied up just to bring a cohesion to this.
Thank you, Catherine. Next image, please. Okay. We have a score of 73, a professional standard. Can I have a comment, please, from Joe? Thank you. Oh, we've got two Joes, haven't we? Joe Howell, sorry, I beg your pardon.
Battle. Battle of the Joes. So this image, I really enjoy the graphic nature of it. The use of lighting to really create form in there is wonderful. The focus is a little bit off on the face. It falls more on the paintings in the background and the shoes. And I think it also, if you're looking at the verticals, the lines, it makes it feel like the image is sloping slightly to the right. So just keeping control of those verticals would be great. Well done.
Thank you, Joe Howell. Can I have the next image, please? Okay, scores please. And we have a score of 74, a professional standard. We're happy with that, judges? Wonderful. Can I have a comment, please, from someone? Catherine, thank you.
Yeah, it's lovely to see a presentation in terms of a maternity series of the 10 months, including baby. There's a real sort of inconsistency between connecting these shots with the different, the use of the window throughout, but then sort of excluding the window in some, and then there's a dissection through her head in some of these. So just a little bit more consistency. I would like to acknowledge there's some lovely expressions throughout these.
Thank you, Catherine. Next image, please. One more score. There we go. And we have a score of 72, a professional standard. Can I have some feedback from someone? Tony, please, for the photographer.
I like the duo concept and the softness of the printing, but it seems to be when it's sort of looking down like that, it makes it more about the things that change in the image, and it basically just feels like there's an arm change without there being any real sort of connection between the photographer and the child.
Thank you, Tony. Next image, please. Okay, and as we are nearing the end of our first day of IRIS judging, I just want to say a special thanks to Sony, our major sponsor of the 2024 IRIS Awards, and also a shout out to Radiant Imaging Labs, who is the sponsor of the Portrait Open category. And we will have the trade stands here and open, so please, if you are in Christchurch, pop in and support all of our amazing sponsors and trade holders. Okay, we have a score of 74, a professional standard. Can I have a comment, please, from someone? For the photographer, Kelly, thank you.
Yeah, sure. Great personality here. I love the eye contact with the camera. I think the photographer's done a really great job there. Just a few things. Cropping through that hand in the bottom right-hand corner there is quite distracting. So, you know, have a look at your crop, either coming in a little bit tighter and focusing on that hand and the cigarette and the face and the expression and removing some of those distracting elements.
Thank you, Kelly. Very helpful. Can we have the next image, please? Okay. One more score. Oh, there we go. And we have a score of 74, a professional standard. Thank you, judges. Can I have a comment, please, from Catherine?
Yeah, certainly an interesting space that we're being presented with. The interpretation of it with the hard shadow behind is sort of overshadowing the subject. There's all these beautiful things in here, the artificial limb, the rug, the textures are everywhere, but the treatment of it is sort of overshadowing that. And then also the glass of wine almost feels a little bit incongruent with the expression, which has a real intensity to it. But I certainly think that there is something going on here in terms of seeing all those textures that were being presented.
Thank you, Catherine. I'm sure the photographer will appreciate that. Can we have the next image, please? Okay, we have a score of 72, a professional standard. And can we please have a comment from Tony?
Yeah. The framing within the frame, I think, is quite nicely done. I find the use of colour in black and white not really adding to the story as well with the brightness of the colours. So it's just really overtaking the black and white. The foreground is a little bit heavy at the bottom in some ways, and just watch your verticals with the door frame as well.
Thank you very much, Tony. Can we have the next image, please? And we're just waiting for one more score, please. That's okay. And we have a score of 72, a professional standard. Can I have a comment for the photographer, please, from Kelly? Thank you.
Yeah, I had to have a second look at this to try and make out what it was that she's sort of leaning up against there, and it sort of resembles a clock. However, we're getting a little lost here in just the heavy treatment. So pulling that back just a little bit, lighting it slightly different to be able to share all of those elements that are in there could help tell the story better for us.
Thank you very much, Kelly. Can we have the next image, please? Okay. We have a score of 73, a professional standard. We're all within cooey of each other. Can I have a comment, please, from Catherine? Thank you.
Yeah, this is one of those images where the handling of the tones in here could have made a huge amount of difference. The brightness through her legs and the brightness behind her head is really where the eye goes. But I do find her expressions intriguing, and particularly the where she's looking down and the texture that's overlaid through her.
Thank you, Catherine. And next image, please. Okay, we have a score of 74, a professional standard. Can I please have some feedback from Joe? Thank you. Joe Francis, thank you.
Really beautiful lighting. Just have a really close look at all the details with these sort of photos. That little thumb down the bottom is quite distracting, and I'm not sure that the crop is entirely working.
Thank you, Joe. And that brings us to the end of the Portrait Open category. Thank you very much. Congratulations to everyone that entered. Judges, if you can please stay in the room until honours get here, because I think they'll want to talk to some of you. And I just want to say one more shout out to Radiant Imaging Labs, who have sponsored this category. Thank you very much. And a huge thank you to Lydia, who's just run this like a dream.